Let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're unpacking a centuries-long epic of rise, fall, and spectacular rebirth. It's a story about the sweeping cycles of history, the heights of human intellect, and, well, the absolute depths of human destruction. And the crazy thing is, this massive historical cycle kicks off with a really eerie, ancient prediction.
So listen to this chilling prophecy. It's a hadith, a saying attributed to the Prophet Muhammad that warned of a future terrifying enemy, one with very specific physical traits. And you have to realize, this ominous prediction just hung over the early Muslims as their empire rapidly expanded across the globe, long before they had any clue who this enemy would actually turn out to be.
Part 1. The Islamic Golden Age.
Now, long before that prophesied enemy ever showed up on their doorstep, this empire built itself into an absolute global superpower, and the speed of it was just staggering. Following the passing of the Prophet, the Rashidun Caliphate pushed the empire out of Arabia in just 30 years. Then the Umayyads took over, massively expanding the borders over the next 90 years. But it was that final era, the 500-year reign of the Abbasids, that brought the empire to its absolute peak.
So you might be wondering, how exactly did the Abbasids achieve a 500-year peak? Well, they realized the previous rulers, the Umayyads, had a fatal flaw. They ran a strict Arab-exclusive power structure. Non-Arabs were entirely shut out of top posts, and that caused massive internal resentment. The Abbasids saw this, rebelled, took over, and radically shifted to a totally inclusive government. They brought Persians, Turks, Greeks, and others right into the fold. And this diversity, it literally sparked an incredible cultural and intellectual explosion.
I absolutely love this part of history. This inclusive policy basically turned Baghdad into the undisputed intellectual capital of the world. The Abbasids built the House of Wisdom, the world's largest library at the time. They essentially funded an entire army of scholars to go out, gather the greatest works of humanity from Greece, India, Persia, and translate them all into Arabic. It just goes to show how centralizing and preserving knowledge can rapidly elevate an entire civilization.
And the payoff was huge. Thanks to massive state funding for scientific research, scholars like Al-Khwarizmi were able to introduce foundational concepts like algebra to the world. But it wasn't just science, you know? The arts flourished beautifully. Classic literature like The Thousand and One Nights, which still inspires movies like Aladdin today, was born right here. Ultimately, Arabic became the undisputed global language of science, kind of like how English is today. Part 2. Fragmentation and the Crusades. Because, as history shows us time and time again, reaching the absolute peak of power means there's really only one way left to go: down. And the decline of this golden age was brutal. The empire started fracturing from the inside. Remember that inclusive policy that brought in diverse groups? Well, it also led to the creation of a super powerful Turkish Seljuk military force. Over time, this army basically took de facto control of the state. It's kind of like a modern nation where the leader is just a name on paper, but the military pulls all the strings. This completely gutted the central authority, breaking that massive territory into vulnerable, divided pieces.
And Europe was watching. Taking devastating advantage of this internal division, European crusaders marched right in. In 1099, they captured Jerusalem, carrying out historically documented immense brutality against the local population. The sources recount horrifying scenes. We're talking thousands of casualties, with crusaders literally burning homes and mosques right over the heads of the people hiding inside. It was an incredibly dark turning point.
Part 3. Saladin reclaims Jerusalem. Just when things looked completely hopeless for the heavily divided Muslim world, with no central leader in sight, a unifier finally emerged from Egypt. Enters Salahuddin. Through brilliant strategy, sheer patience, and masterful diplomacy, he did the impossible. He united the fractured Muslim factions. By 1192, he had miraculously reclaimed Jerusalem, restored stability, and brought back a sense of lost glory to the empire. But the story is far from over.
Part 4. Genghis Khan's brutal rise.
Remember that eerie prophecy about the terrifying enemy we talked about earlier? Well, it's time to head east, because we have this incredible historical parallel happening at the exact same time. While Salahuddin was restoring the empire in the west, a boy named Temujin was born in Mongolia. Temujin would eventually earn the title Genghis Khan. And while Salahuddin was destined to unite, Genghis Khan was destined to bring an unprecedented level of destruction to the very same empire. So why was Genghis Khan so unstoppable? Because he engineered a ruthlessly systematic military and justice structure.
He divided his army into precise units of 10, 100, and 1,000. And his absolute rule? If one man in a 10-man unit fled from battle, the other 9 were executed by their own army. Even his justice system was terrifying. Steal a horse, you have to return 10. Fail to do that, and your entire family is killed. This made his army absolutely terrified of failure, and because of that, totally unbreakable.
Now here's a wild detail. The Mongols didn't initially target the Islamic Empire. Genghis Khan actually sent a delegation of friendship and trade, but the local Khorazm king arrogantly arrested them. And when Genghis Khan sent an ambassador to demand their release, the king broke the ultimate diplomatic law. He beheaded the Mongol ambassador. That single act unleashed pure, unadulterated wrath.
To even begin to understand the scale of this retaliation, you just have to wrap your head around this number: 1.8 million casualties. The population of the Khwarezm Empire plummeted from 2 million down to just 200,000. Genghis Khan absolutely decimated the region, famously leaving gruesome pyramids of skulls in his wake just to send a crystal-clear message to the rest of the world.
Part 5. The Fall of Baghdad.
This ruthless momentum certainly didn't stop with Genghis Khan. After his passing, his descendants kept the expansion going, eventually arriving at the gates of the ultimate prize, Baghdad. 1258 marks the end of an era. Instead of uniting against this massive Mongol threat, the Muslim world was tragically divided by internal sectarian debates. So Genghis Khan's grandson, Hulagu Khan, easily captured Baghdad and executed the caliph. The cultural heart of the world was shattered. The House of Wisdom was destroyed, its countless books dumped into the water. According to historical accounts, the Tigris and Euphrates rivers literally ran red with the blood of the fallen and then black with the ink of destroyed human knowledge. Part 6. Defeat and Unexpected Assimilation. Hearing all that, it really sounds like the absolute end of the Islamic Empire, doesn't it? But history always has one more surprising twist up its sleeve. Many scholars back then believed the Mongols were an unstoppable, apocalyptic force, literally Gog and Magog. But they were wrong. The Mamluks of Egypt, led by their sultan and general Baibars, completely defied the odds. They marched out and decisively defeated the Mongols at the Battle of Ain Jalut in Palestine, halting their fearsome global expansion forever. And this brings us to the most unexpected historical outcome of all. The invincible Mongol conquerors who had just destroyed the Islamic Empire? They didn't just pack up and leave. They settled down, started studying the religion of the very people they conquered, and incredibly, they converted to Islam themselves. You can actually see it in their lineage. Over time, traditional Mongol names like Ugadai and Hulagu were replaced with Islamic names like Muhammad, Timur, and Babur, who actually went on to found the mighty Mughal Empire in India. When we look back at the architects of these two massive world-altering empires, it's really fascinating how history ultimately judges them. I mean, both built massive domains, but one, the early Caliph Umar, is revered globally as a great and just leader, while Genghis Khan is remembered almost universally for his systematic cruelty and tyranny. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought to ponder today. In the grand cycles of history, when the victorious invaders are completely transformed by the culture and beliefs of the vanquished, who truly won the war? Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and keep questioning the history you think you know.